Greetings everybody, it's me Knight, and today or tonight, whenever y'all watching this, I'm gonna be talking on being scratched, or for others initiated, or being called or claimed. I'm gonna break it down because depending on your belief system, whether you're a person that believes anything or you do your own spiritual thing, it's gonna break it down. I'm not gonna go on everybody's religions and all that, right? Whether it be Santeria or anything like that. I'm not gonna go on all that. I'm just gonna keep it general, okay? So, being scratched, right? Now, since I did mention Santeria or certain things, there's certain deities, whether you want to call them goddess forms or whatnot, they will come out to someone, and scratch. I mean, like they're claiming them as them, like them. So they may claim you as their child. They're protecting you, and it's like a bond. It's like a what do you call, like a pact, right? It's very similar. It makes sense. And if you're not into anything like that, you have, again, if you're just doing your own practices, like me, myself, I have a feminine deity that's, well, I guess you can say, called to me. Meaning, like, it called me out. It started years ago in my home. I felt some type of energy. I didn't see her here, and I started having dreams, and I saw who she was, and then she spoke to me, and I realized she was with me for a while, and then she was telling me, like, she started noticing patterns in me. Like, she noticed that I would give my power away a lot. I was very submissive. Uh, Even though I thought I was bold and brave, she kind of made me face my shadows and move through things. And as I moved through things, right, um, she also, like, made me remember that I was, like, into, like, hidden knowledge. Like, I always was a person into, like, occult things before I even met this deity, right? Always been into things. And she would, like, help me embrace myself and not be afraid. And then I got initiated. She initiated me in my visions, meaning, like, she would show me certain things in the shadow world, meaning, like, I guess which I would call a hell state. And I would have these spirits, they'll come to me, whether it be spirits from a past life. I have past life visions or anything like that. And what would happen is, whatever I did in my visions, literally, it played out in my reality. So, like, there's times, for example, when I was in the military, it would show me having friction with certain individuals, and I would suppress myself, and then I would be tested. And so this individual, they think, like, they, even though they have free will, it's like, I don't know how to explain this to you. Like, certain things would happen to trigger this person and myself to see what I would do in that situation where I have a conflict with them. Would I break bread with them? What would I do? It just makes sense. Because of course we all go through it, but, like, it was like literally, it was like things are being manipulated around me, like, that I didn't even call to do, and it's like I had to be pushed through that. And even spiritually, like, I would do certain spiritual practices and prayers, and I was being pushed to my limits, right? To just face my own shadows and what triggers me and makes me angry. This makes sense. And so once she had, I guess I can say that, made that little pact with me, that was just a part of it. I'm not gonna go everything because I'm not permitted to tell everything. Yeah, even with rituals and everything, it's just we're like this. And so she has a heavy protection on me. And a lot of times when people do readings on people, not anybody should do it, or if somebody was to tap in. So I give you an example. Say you're somebody out there, and not that y'all should, I'm not telling y'all to do this, but say if you're, no matter if you're whoever you're dating out there, say if your partner you feel has some type of presence on them, and say if somebody did a reading on them or something like that, if they're a good person who has a strong intuition, or even if they're a shaman, they're gonna notice there's some type of energy around this individual, right? And a lot of times, some of the energies don't like that attention. It might backfire if they don't like who's trying to be poking in that energy. And that's why I said I wouldn't tell anybody to do that. But again, that's how powerful these things is. Because nothing against your angels and guides, they definitely have a protection over you. But from my perspective, it's a little bit different. Where you have an energy of a higher frequency, or a different type of frequency that's not like your typical guardians or guides around people. I hope this makes sense. Because because of course we have the omnipresent source, but it's just people. So again, to get back on subject, I only gave my little experience there because when I say initiation, people may think, oh, you went to some type of how can I say place or temple to go get initiated or anything like that. And there are places like that, but I'm talking about a spiritual way of being scratched or being called in, or if an entity calls or claims you as theirs. It just makes it spiritually. Because yeah, you have free will, but a lot of this is out of your hands though, because like a lot of us, we don't know what we signed up for. Now at any time you can back off, so let me let you know, you can say you don't want it, but it doesn't mean that that spirit just going to like stop like that in that second. This makes sense to you? And then sometimes I've seen it where sometimes they just hover around. They won't do anything, but they're just made to be there with you. You know, I hope this makes sense. There's even families that are covered and they don't realize this. But most time, most people gonna really know. Most people are gonna know when they've been claimed by a spirit. This makes sense. When I mean claim, right? I don't want to scare y'all. It doesn't mean that when you pass on that, oh, this thing owns your soul. So I hope this makes sense to you. Now it doesn't mean you wouldn't see it, that spirit on the afterlife, but it's not like holding you down like that. Does it make sense to you? Because I had to make sure I put that out there, because I want people thinking like, what the hell? Nah. But I'm just bringing this up, not that y'all don't know what a pact is or being scratched is, or if a spirit, because see, it's one thing for a spirit to call out to you, be like, hey, I want to help you. That's one thing, right? I'm not talking about that. So I meant to say at the beginning of the video, it's one thing for a spirit to come at you and help you and then leave, right? Or come every once in a while. I'm talking about like a spirit that's with you like 24/7, like most of the time, always there. Even if they're from afar, they have their energy around you and your aura. I'm talking about that, kind of like your guardians around you all the time. That's what I'm talking about. This makes sense? I'm not talking about like, oh, a spirit called on me, I'm just gonna work for it with a month and I'm gonna let it go. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about something that's kind of like how you have your mom, or your parents, whatever, watched over you as a child like that. I hope this makes sense. But anybody can technically have these energies call them if the spirit wants to come towards you. Because again, I'm trying to break it down where it's not you doing it, it's the spirit. Because yeah, you have free will, but like spirits got free will too. They can do what they want. And you gotta understand, y'all don't run the dream world. Like, I mean, like, so this, we can, like, I have lucid dreams, right? And very vivid dreams. And I know how to wake myself out of the dream. But when I go to sleep, I'm not sitting there making up all the scenes that are playing out in my visions though. It just makes sense. The higher powers in a way are making up all the scenes. So even though I can wake up out of it and speak to them and tell them off and I can cuss them out, yeah, they're still controlling. So if they show me my shadow side or whatever, that's them. Other than my old subconscious doing it, they're also playing that out. This makes sense? All right? And they're creating it, because that's the fine feminine energy. It's creating all that stuff, right? So it's using me as a mirror and showing me everything that I need to do. So if it's initiation, she's showing me everything I need to do. This makes sense? Right? And it's all to level me up to ascend. Now, depending on what entity you're talking to, it's a case by case, right? Some of y'all might be working with infernos. I don't know. That's why I'm not sitting here. That's why I want to go in here and talk about Orishas. I don't want to talk about Hecate. I didn't want to talk about Lilith. I didn't want to talk about that. I'm just making it in general because, I don't know, I just felt compelled to make a video that was different today. And not that y'all don't know this, but again, everybody out there, is a lot of videos about people getting called. Like, oh, I feel like the spirit called me. I feel like the guys called me. Yeah, it's one thing to be called, right? And it's the one thing for you to feel like and say, oh, I'm a daughter of this person. I'm a son. Yeah, you can do that. But when they do it and they sit here and call you out and say, this is my son, this is daughter, that's a whole nother level. When they actually make that front, that's a whole nother, like, whoop. Not discrediting you saying that you feel like that, but when you hear this thing comes to you without you even asking, randomly, boom, come tell you, that's what happened to me. Like, I felt that and it told me that, right? But then, I'm not, with all respect to my friend out there, if you're watching, you know it. When that spirit came to you and it's like, hey, that's my son, you know who I'm talking to. Like, that just confirmed getting chills, you know, and I'm blessings to you. You know who you are out there. But nonetheless, yeah, it's a beautiful thing. And if you aren't connected to a spirit, I wish y'all a beautiful connection if y'all down for it. But be aware, they'll put you through that test and they'll initiate you, right? right? They'll definitely initiate you. And I'm not talking about like the Lucian mysteries where, all right, you got to be around physical people. You can, but I'm talking about spiritually though. You have free will, but they have free will, and they will spiritually initiate you to evolve. I'm not speaking on it like you're trying to be some type of high priest or mage or the most like powerful witch in the world, right? I'm talking about just you evolving. And doesn't mean your ancestors can't do it, but just like you have ascended masters that have ascended past a certain human mind or human way of thinking or being a presence or energy, they do too. This makes sense. So whether you choose to be with a darker energy or a light energy, it's all for a purpose, and they can initiate, and that's my way. I'm not here to be going off of other people's books and all that text. I'm telling you what they told me, and this is what I'm bringing up. I'm not here to talk about other people's religion, even though I brought a little bit of people's religions in the past at the beginning of the video, but that was just to break it down of the words that I'm using. If you wonder where I'm getting these words from and all that, because some of y'all might not be from America watching. Some of y'all might call it scratch. Some of y'all might call it pack. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, when the spirit is claiming you as theirs, like you're heavily protected, and that's what you need to know. Now, it doesn't mean, again, if you are calling yourself the child of something, even if the spirit has not called you that, it doesn't mean you're not protected. I want to put that out there. I'm not discrediting that. You are. I'm just saying it's a whole different type of vibe when you actually had the spirit do that. And it doesn't mean you got to hear it or see it, because when I found out, I didn't hear this thing telling me in my ears in my room. I didn't see this thing see me. Like I ended up seeing her later on, but it was all in my dreams, in my visions. And for me, I can't speak for y'all. I believe my visions. Like I have a lot of premonitions. I have a lot of dreams, and I used to be doubting my stuff, but I had to realize I cannot do that in my life. No matter what, deity, my health, and life, when they show me something, like, it is what it is. Even my mom, she has premonitions and all that. I trust my stuff. And so when they say it, yeah. And I got validated literally not so long, a couple years ago, when one of my friends out there, you know who you are, when she was like, yeah, you know, your mom told me this and all that. And so it just, yeah, and I didn't even ask her. She didn't know. It just showed up. But nonetheless, I'm just bringing this up. It's just something new to bring up. And if you feel like you're being called and you want to hear your spirit tell you this, even if you're not able to see it here, you know, light you a candle and ask, or pray that night and wait for a sign. It don't matter. No, doesn't mean it's gonna happen that night, but probably within that month, you probably hear something. Right, most likely in the vision. But I would say if you're not wanting to remember your dreams, try to eat right, eat clean, do something to have your mind peace and at ease, to have a vision of something that you can possibly remember. And if you don't know if that's possible, ask for a sign. I'm telling you, they'll show you something, bird. They're gonna show you something. They're going to, right? They really are, right? I'm telling y'all, especially if it's really supposed to be like that, right? Because you don't know what's in your bloodline, you don't know what you carry from a past life. That's another thing. But I don't want to make this video too long, but that's just about me and what I've been through and what is around me. So much blessings to her, the mother energy around me, and yeah, and all my angels and guides, really, but definitely that. And I don't know, I just felt compelled to make this. Maybe there's somebody out there just curious about what's around them, you know, and go with this. And you don't need an intermediate. You can do it yourself if you feel comfortable, right? But again, I'm not here telling you all what to do. But that's what I have to say. With that being said, my name is Knight, and blessed be.